Okay, hello everybody, or hello, how are you? I see there's already a few people on. So I am here, my name is Alison. I'll show our names. My name is Alison Marsh. If you don't know who I am, I know most of you do. And I am here with James Wedmore, my business coach. I found you in 2017, so it's been about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had other coaches. I mean, I've had other programs. I started online business, so we can kind of get right into the background here. I chose my niche because I tried other things. I started in like 2010 with like a blog about, it was called Vegas Valley Resources. And I was a social worker. So the idea was that I was going to have all these different resources online for people in Las Vegas, right? That's where I live. And I thought I would make money with, I think back then it was like click ads or something where people pay to be on your, okay. Yeah, well, that never worked out. 2015, I started a blog on pre and postnatal. And 2017, I found you. So that was 2 years, right? Flash forward, this is good background for you to know as well. As of last October, so we met last October. I've shared our last interview with my audience, but just to kind of catch up to that, at the time I had a business partner and I was with her for 2 years. And when I went through your program and really started paying attention to it, because when I first got it, I really didn't know what to do with it, honestly. It was really, and I know we can get into what overwhelming means, but that's what it was to me. I felt like I didn't know the lingo enough yet to really understand what I was even doing. I had to, like you say, take action, start taking action on these different things for me to figure out what the heck I was even doing. So I get to your vision lesson. And the one thing you said was that there can only be one visionary. And that rolled around in my heart, in my head for several months. And so actually it was the next month, November, my business partner and I separated. And I have now completely had to start over pretty much with new name, new branding, new content. And it's exciting because I'm kind of, even though I have the audience, I have built an audience. And this is for everybody that's watching. I want you to know, like, when you have a connection with your audience, because that's one of the first things you do is attract an audience, right? Besides the fact that I changed the branding, that I'm doing new content, my audience has stayed true. My students have followed me. And it is such a testament to you because I watch what you do very closely. And the number one thing I see you do is show up consistently and at 100% every time. And you don't stop, like you don't disappear. I think that's like, right? So that's my background with James Wedmore. And would you like to, I would love for you to introduce yourself, letting people know how you got started and then how far you've come.
Sure, absolutely. The short version is 12 years ago, I had an idea to start a business on the internet, which 12 years ago is a long time. People didn't even really consider that as a possibility. And the only idea I could come up with was based on the only thing I knew how to do at the time, which is bartend. I was a bartender at a Mexican restaurant making cervezas, handing cervezas and making margaritas all day. And I said, well, I could teach people how to bartend. And that was 2007. And by April 18th, 2008, I made my very first sale on the internet. I was hooked. I mean, I fell in love with it instantly. Everything from, building your own business, creating your own thing, not having to go to work for somebody else, being in control of your financial destiny, sales and marketing, I just really enjoyed. And then, of course, that evolved to realize, like, wow, the stuff that we're doing is helping people. And you start to hear so many stories just like yours, Alison, of the difference that you're making in somebody's life. And I firmly believe, whether you choose to believe it or not, I believe all of us, if we're called to any of this work at all, it's because we have a desire to help people, especially once you realize that money itself is one of the lowest forms of motivation. Once you have enough money to pay bills and survive, what's going to drive you is going to be the evidence of making a difference in someone's life. And so when you say you show up consistently, it's because I know what's on the line every day. I know that every time one of our episodes airs on my podcast or an Instagram quote or an Instagram story, that there's someone out there having a really tough time. They're going through a dark time, because I went through a bunch of dark times. I went through 4 or 5 years of just lost, struggling, broke. And when you realize that that's on the line every day, it becomes very easy to show up consistently. So I became really driven by this idea of realizing that the success that I started having, I eventually built $1 million a year business, totally online, part-time. I would surf half the day and then make YouTube videos the rest of the day. I mean, it was like dream come true.
So that's surf, not serve.
Surfing in the ocean. Yeah, playing, And I realized that I was doing things very differently than most. That the way I had approached business was very different than most people. And so I started just showing people how I built a business. And our business has kept growing. We've been able to help more people. And we now have people in every niche imaginable. We have customers who, how to meditate, how to train your dog, how to do food canning, which I didn't even know what that was, or backyard gardening, to how to use Instagram. Oh my gosh, some of the interior design and home organization, feng shui, every niche imaginable. I think I gave dog training. We got a couple of dog trainers.
Corset making was the other one.
Corset making is a fantastic example of one. And these are entrepreneurs that are taking their knowledge, taking their expertise, and they're getting paid to teach. They're getting paid to share. They're getting paid to help. And it's such an exciting time. The e-learning online education market is booming. I think it's predicted to do $225 billion by 2021. That's 2 years. So it's a booming industry right now. It's a very exciting time. It's a massive opportunity. And, the thing is where this was really created from was the idea of one of the main things why people go to the internet is because they have questions. They're looking for answers. And when people have problems, they're willing to pay to get those solutions. And when you get to build a business around solving problems for people, i.e. helping people, to me, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that. And that just 12 years into this, it still excites me every single day. And if you're the type of person that wants to help people, that loves teaching, that loves helping, that wants to impact more people, share a message, this is the way to do it, hands down. So that's what I do. That's what I do. I help people do that. That's the long answer, I guess.
So what's so inspiring to me and why I continue to learn from you is because you've been through the struggle. And I think that's Field, for example. She worked for Tony Robbins before she started doing what she does, right? So we can make up that story as new online business owners of, oh, well, she's successful because she was doing something really big before that.
Yeah.
I think, well, I know with Pilates teachers, the one question that comes up a lot is, can I even give a quality class without being there in person, touching the person or being in that energy? That's one of the struggles. Can you even give a quality class in 2 dimensions here? But there's tons of examples of teachers doing it. Obviously, I'm one of them. And I teach teachers to teach other people too. So, I mean, it goes even further and it works. I mean, we've got a membership with teachers that are all over the world, Hungary, in Poland, Scotland, England. It's amazing, the power of the internet. And I feel like my mission is if I can teach other teachers to just get through that first fear, basically, of doing anything online, they will be able to help so many more people. And that's where we get hung up. We talked about this I was just listening to our conversation last time. We get so hung up on what people are going to think. And I will tell you, and I know, and if any of you have any questions right away, let me know. I've got some, I'm gonna pull up. I have a pop-up group, so I was asking them questions before this as well, so I've got some. But if we can get through the whole idea of, in the Pilates world, there's certifications, right? Well, here's the thing with Pilates that's interesting. Little history on Pilates for you. Joseph Pilates, do I have this book right here? No. Joseph Pilates, it's a dude, it's the name of a guy. He didn't have any certifications, okay? He was a nurse in World War I. He was a boxer and a gymnast, and he found this method of moving from the core and breathing in all of the exercises that helped him physically to recover. I think he had asthma and some other issues, and he started sharing that. No certification, it was his own experience, right? Now today, we've got classical Pilates, contemporary Pilates. They like to argue with each other about what's right and what's wrong. Who has this certification? Who has this certification? If you're not certified, then you don't do this or that. And I always have to remind everyone, Joseph Pilates just wanted everyone to do Pilates, just wanted everyone to move. He actually had a dream that if everyone did Pilates, we would have no need for prisons, because everybody would feel, and it's not just about the exercise. He talks about getting fresh air and sunlight. He used to work out in little shorts in the sunshine, because he knew that those types of things energized you. And so if we can get the message out today, just that if a teacher can just look at this, like right now, if they're not sharing what they know online, they are leaving someone out right now that needs their help, that could only be helped by them, that need their message.
Well, and here's another way to look at it too. I think you look at the Amazon culture that we've created, where like, how many times have you found yourself needing something? Like just yesterday, I used up the last of our boxing tape in the house, and Chelsea, my wife, was like, you're gonna get us more tape, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just order some on Amazon, right? Am I gonna go drive 10 minutes down to the local hardware store or wherever, mailboxes, etc., find a parking spot in busy Laguna Beach in the summertime, walk in, stand in a line, no, I'm just gonna go to Amazon, boop, 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 right? And have you ever considered that that's how people are also thinking about their fitness routine in a very busy lifestyle? Whereas when we're asking ourselves that question, well, am I still going to be able to help and provide value if it's in videos, if it's virtual, if it's over the internet? Well, regardless of that, we already have a massive and growing market of people that want more health, they want more movement, but they don't want to leave their house. They don't have the time. What we're dealing with is a generation and a time where people are completely overwhelmed and super busy, and they're going to find some solution to doing this at home. And I can use my Peloton as an example because I just got one. I've had a personal trainer and I hated it. I hated it because I had to book the time, schedule it, and then like, oh crap, like I can't do, I got this other stuff. I don't have time for this. And then I got to stop what I'm doing, go to my training session, drive, find a parking spot, blah, 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 right? So I buy a Peloton and I bought the treadmill, and I wake up in the morning, I stand, it's in our guest bedroom. I stand on it, I click a class, and it's good to go. And the way I look at it is the video on the internet of a guy, because it's got a big computer screen in front of it. Is that going to be as much value as a personal trainer in person? Maybe not. But guess what? I'm not going to use the one in person. So any movement, any workout is better than none. And that's the way you want to consider this, is that it's targeting an entire market of people that is already opting out of either they can't afford it cost-wise or time-wise to work with someone in person. But what they can do is that 20 minutes from home while they've got that newborn baby, while they've got that young child, right? Or that other job that they're doing, whatever it is. Like, people are busy and this is what they need. And that's the gift you're giving people. Something is going to be better than nothing. And if you're not doing it, they're going to go find someone who is.
Right. Because there are. I mean, yeah, there are people doing it. So it's like, get on the bus. Let's get this done. Why not? It is okay. One thing I see that comes up a lot with actually very respected teachers that have been doing this like 30 years, who've written books, who sell online courses and sell books and trainings. Actually, a few of them I've heard say that it's almost I don't know if it's a fear of the audience thinking that they're trying to sell them something. And they've actually said, if like we are doing a webinar or something, they've said, don't worry, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Another one is like the other one has a book. She referenced some of her exercises online that you can look up. And she said something like, oh, I bet you're probably thinking that I'm gonna try to sell you something again. And I thought, wow, like, these are two brilliant teachers who they need to get to know James because I mean, we have to rethink that whole feeling if this is gonna work.
I mean, that's just like selling shame, right? You're just shaming yourself for selling. But here's the fact. Every business that's in business is selling you something. Every commercial you see on TV, every billboard, every shop, every handyman, plumber, electrician, they're all selling you something. And the fact is that we love to buy. We love to buy. You love to buy. You can all think of a time where you walked into the Apple store and walked out with your brand new iPhone, or you went. I mean, America's pastime, it used to be, and now it's all online, was going to the mall. Buying stuff is something we do. It's a hobby. So where is all this selling shame coming from? I'll tell you. Selling is a tool, just like a hammer is a tool. And I can use a hammer to build your dream home. It's one of the tools I would use to build your dream home. But a hammer could also be used to destroy something, right? We could destroy a home with a hammer. So a hammer itself is a tool, and as a tool, it's not good or bad. It comes down to how you use it. Selling is the same way. Selling is a tool. How you use it is what's important. And yeah, there's a lot of people out there that use the tool incorrectly. They lie, they manipulate, they have bad intentions. And so what we do is we go, whoa, this sleazy, selly, pushy, we call them the used car salesman or saleswoman. And we go, oh, I hate selling. I hate being, no, you just hate when someone does it poorly, ineffectively. And so to then judge the tool instead of the person using the tool would be the biggest mistake ever. Because the fact of the matter is, selling is a service. When done correctly, selling is a service. And you refusing to sell is the biggest disservice on the planet. Because when that person that you gave as an example says, I'm not trying to sell anything and blah, 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 what they're really saying is, I don't really want to help you. I don't really want you to get committed and serious. I don't really want you to change your life, your health, your fitness, your body, your flexibility, your mobility, or anything like that. And like, what? No, James. If this person wants to help me, they should give it all away for free. No. How many things have you gotten for free that you don't value? There's already a ton. Anything you want to learn. You want to make more money. You want to invest. You want to find the perfect mate. You want to redo your house. You want to build an online. It's all available for free already. It's all out there. All the information is out there. But the fact of the matter is that if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. Same with your people. Has anyone here, I'm curious, ever brought on a pro bono friend discount personal client, right? You say, you know what, I'll just comp your sessions. And then they start not showing up. Maybe they come in late. They don't really take it seriously. You don't feel that commitment. When there isn't skin in the game, people don't get committed. And when they don't get committed, they don't change. This is why I tell all my students the transformation, the change that you want them to make, the difference, the results that they want in their life, the solutions to their problems begins with the transaction. The transformation begins with the transaction, because that's when they back a decision with a commitment, skin in the game. So if you're not selling, you are doing your people a massive, massive disservice. Massive. And here's the final proof of this. I've been doing this for 12 years. I have a YouTube channel with 13.5 million views. Think about that. 13.5 million views. I have a YouTube channel or a podcast, 3+ million. It's like 3.3 million downloads. Tons of content. Tons. All free. Yet 99% of all the case studies, the results, the transformations all come from my paying members, my paying clients and students. 90% of it's the same stuff. Right. It's the same stuff. But people get committed and they go, and you guys have all had that experience. You go, all right, I'm in this, right? You pay for that gym membership in January 1st. You're like, I'm doing this. I'm serious. You get that personal trainer yourself, whatever it is, you get serious. And you are doing such a disservice when you don't create that same environment for your people.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about that? Can you guys resonate with giving things away to friends, family, and then it's, man, let me tell you something I've done, and I think just, serendipity with the way that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So just real quick, what drives me, what keeps me going is that well, first of all, I love teaching, and I love helping people. I went to work for social work. I was a social worker. I wanted to help people. But social workers really don't make much money. And I to get pregnant. And I was teaching Pilates. I had my mentor, Dolly Calipez. She had a training, and she had a Pilates training. And she asked me, because I was trying to get pregnant, I was doing all this research on Pilates and pregnancy. And she asked me, will you write a curriculum for my overall training? And the first thing that came up, I started looking for was, why me? What credentials do I have to be writing a curriculum? And but I did it. I started teaching, but I still wasn't getting pregnant. I taught this thing for years, and it was all just very basic, by the book. And I finally said, God, if I cannot be pregnant and experience this, I don't want to do this anymore. So it was basically, I would say it was like a business deal, my pregnancy. I was pregnant the next month after 8 years of infertility. Like that was my like big neon sign of, yes, you are supposed to be doing this. And I just keep going because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And what I was getting at was my in-person clients. I used to have a huge in-person clientele, 4 days a week, at least 5 hours, 5 clients a day. And slowly they started to leave, giving me time to work on my business. Now I know there are tons of people that build these businesses with full-time jobs, and they do this on the side. For me, I only had so much time, and I was filling up all my time with these one-to-one, making $50 an hour. And now I've been able to move my business. I have one in-person client. I work with diastasis recti clients in person, and that's it. The rest of it's online because I kept going, because I feel like there is something else, like you said in the very beginning, that we are all put here for a reason, to do something. And if you don't believe that, maybe we need to have a conversation about that. So yeah, that's been my experience. And you just have to keep going. Like you have to start and you have to find your why. And you said, James, what keeps you going is knowing that you're helping.
Yeah.
And I think most Pilates teachers go into teaching Pilates because they want to help. So I would like to, let's see, I have a few comments. Oh, there we go. Yeah, everyone's just reaffirming what you're saying. Okay, so I asked this question inside of the pop-up group, and people answered. I wanted to talk about these. So I asked them, what do you believe about online business? What thoughts pop up when you think about starting your own? And Christmas is actually one of my students. She says that she feels like online business is for established experts in the area they are presenting on. Okay. Also, that she feels like a team of people is required to make it work well. So the first thing is that only established experts can do this. What do you think about that?
Well, the first thing is, it's very common, right?
Right.
I hear it a lot. So who or what determines established expert? And that most people can't answer that. What makes someone an expert? What would make you an expert? And the crazy thing that we don't really consider is the fact that we really grew up in this permission-based society, a culture that everyone is older than you, bigger than you. You're in school, you're trying to figure out how the world is. You got these big adults, parents, teachers, authorities, and they're all the expert because they're bigger than you. And they're telling you, giving you permission when you can ask a question, or when you can go to the bathroom, or when you can graduate. They're telling you what to do, what you're not allowed to do. So for the majority of our life, especially the formative years, we're spent waiting for people to give us permission to do something by these people that they are perceived as experts. We just assume that they're an expert. So then we kind of just build up this belief that there must be like expert school out there. There must be this like inner society where they create experts and we're not in it. So we must not be an expert. But the fact of the matter is that there is no mayor of the internet handing out expert degrees, expert permission slips. And then most people are just waiting for that. They're waiting for this expert status. It's never going to come. And the people you look at that you call an expert, she's an expert, he's an expert. They didn't wait for it either. They just decided. An expert simply means you know how to do something. You're all an expert at tying your shoes, which is why you can teach your little child how to tie their shoes. So expert just means you know how to do something. Period. It doesn't even mean that you're the best in the world at it. It doesn't even mean that you know everything about it. It just means you know what you know. And you're an expert on what you know. Because if you know how to do it, then that already means you can teach others how to do it as well. Period. Just like you can teach a little child how to tie their shoes. Right? So that's all an expert is giving yourself permission and accepting, owning what it is that you already know. And that's it. So that's, whatever it is that you identify as something you already know, you're already an established expert. Now you got to just go out and start teaching it.
Yeah. Accepting it and owning it. That's huge. And what's resonated so much with me over the past 6 months is that, and then in starting to build a team, that's the next question. I hired my first VA using your process of hiring through onlinejobs.ph. And this is also good to talk about. I had this in my notes to ask you. So you say that business is simple.
Yeah.
Okay. But you and me both know that, and we can talk about what hard work is, but it's a lot of work. You can't be lazy. You can't not do anything. You have to actually follow through. And I think people get business being simple and hard work. I think they skew business being simple as, I don't have to do very much.
There is a difference between simple and easy. For example, if I told everyone listening here, hey, you should go live on Facebook right now. You should do your own Facebook Live. I can give you a very simple step-by-step instructions for how to go live. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. If you have a bunch of fears and worries and what will they say, what will they think, what if no one shows up, then you have chosen to make it very hard, despite how simple it can be. Press this button, press that button, go live, say hi, ask a few questions, share a few tips, call it a day. We can make it so simple. And that's my job. My job is to make things simple. It's your job to choose whether you're going to make it easy or really difficult. And the other thing, though, is everything takes work. Life is about doing. We came here to take action. We came here to do. That's like saying, I want to write a best-selling book. Well, you're going to have to write it. And if you hate writing, you probably shouldn't do that. You should probably do something that you enjoy. And so the whole thing is if you love teaching, you love Pilates, you love helping people, you love what you do, this is simply about the work that you do, the action that you take are the things that you love doing. And when you love doing the things that you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't even feel hard. I'm working right now in this moment. It doesn't feel like work. And it's not hard, and I love it. And that's how business can be for you. But if you don't think like a successful business owner and you don't have a plan, then you end up reactively staying busy doing a bunch of random stuff. Like oh, I got to make an about me page today, and oh, I got to make business cards, and oh, I got to design a website, and I don't know what I'm doing, and oh, all these things. And we just stay busy doing things that are outside your zone of genius that you shouldn't be doing anyways, and they don't make you any money. Business cards, you designing business cards doesn't make you money. It just keeps you busy, right? Creating the perfect about me page or the perfect logo doesn't make you any money. Mm-mm. And it's not what you were put here to do. Otherwise, you'd be watching a Facebook Live on how to make better logos. You'd be a graphic designer.
Right.
And that's what I thought. I thought you had to do it all yourself. So you can try to do it all yourself, but you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
You're not going to love it. Why would you want to? And so, yes, one of the big fundamentals that I teach is how no matter what stage you are at, you can begin hiring, including hiring a virtual assistant overseas for just a few bucks an hour. That sounds crazy when I say that to people for the first time. I've been saying this for a long time. And I just got a post today from one of our Business by Design members, one of our coaching clients, and they said, I finally just hired my first assistant, and I don't know how I survived without one. What was I thinking? So this is the thing that we resist. But the fact of the matter is that overseas, for just a few dollars an hour in the Philippines, the US dollar has so much more value to them over there that for just a few dollars an hour, that's like I think it's like 3 to 4 times their minimum wage. Like it's very well paid. Yeah. And starting with someone for a few bucks a day or a few hours a day, we're talking about getting started in your business, spending $30 to $60 a week. And if someone here listening is like, I want to start my business, I finally want to get this off the ground, but I can't afford 30, 50, 60 bucks a week. What you're really saying to yourself, to your subconscious, and what you're projecting out into the world is that you don't value your time. And if you don't value your time more than a few dollars an hour, how do you expect your customers to? How do you expect anyone else to value your time if you don't value it yourself? When you and that's just like what every successful entrepreneur had to get to, and I just want everyone here getting to it now. When you value your time, like if you do the math, we have what? It's 2,080 working hours in a year.
Okay.
And you come up with a goal for how much revenue you want to create in a year. Let's say you say, you know what, I want to do 150,000 in revenue this year. You divide that by 2,080. Your hourly wage is roughly 72 bucks an hour. Yet you spend your all day doing a task that you hate, that drains you, that someone could do for $3 an hour. What that's really costing you is $544 a day, which times 5 times 4 is $11,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
Because you chose to do it yourself instead of letting go of those $3 an hour activities. So business is very simple. However, growing a successful business takes a completely different way of thinking than most people believe. Most people will tell you, if you want to do something right, you got to do it yourself. Mm-hmm. And nothing worth achieving, came without struggle and sacrifice. And the only people that ever built successful businesses sacrificed and hustled 14 hours a day. That is the most complete, utter nonsense. Nonsense. Because how many people do we know, and we can all know at least one, that has worked that 14-hour hustle your face off mentality, and they have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Because anybody can stay busy working their fingers to the bone doing the wrong things. But doing the wrong things isn't going to get you the right results. So It will take a very different approach, very different strategy. That is, what we just say is it's just counterintuitive, completely counterintuitive to the way you think you want to build a business. But it's still simple. It's still simple. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah. It is 100% about rewiring our thinking, this is his book. If you have not downloaded this PDF, I'll put it in the comments after this. Look, I have my little notes. I'm reading it again. Everything that keeps coming up to me is it's hard. So what do you have to say about that? It's hard to change, to rewire something that's been, gosh, what did I get started in this? When I was 38? I'll be 43 this year. It's hard. Okay, maybe should I use a different word? It's an experience. It's exciting challenge, or should I not even be using that word?
Well, use whatever word that works. But here's the thing is easy is boring. Think of it like this. If we have any tennis players out there, this is a great metaphor to use. If you like playing tennis, your favorite tennis matches were your hardest tennis matches with your toughest opponents. Can you imagine how fun, if you know how to play tennis, can you imagine how fun playing tennis would be with a 4-year-old? They wouldn't even be able to hit the ball back over the net. Winning would be very easy, but that wouldn't be fun. That's not what you signed up for. You play tennis for those matches that push you, that force you to just go that extra mile, to discover a little bit more of what you're capable of. And whether you win or lose, you have that feeling of where you just got pushed and you stepped up and you played your best. And whether you win or lose, you walk away satisfied. That's what business is. It's not meant to be easy. If you want easy, great. Go watch Netflix and eat Cheetos all day. That's easy, right? Yeah. Simple means focus on less, eloquent approach, like as few steps as possible. But it's going to push you. You're going to have to be forced to let go of that which does not serve you. Let go of what you think it takes and be willing to do something new, to try something different. And I think that's what we all signed up for. I think we all signed up for discovering what we're truly capable of. And in order to discover what you're truly capable of, you're going to have to do something that's uncomfortable. You're going to have to do something that challenges you. You're going to have to face some sort of perceived adversity. That's how we grow. And you've maybe heard this quote or this idea before, which I love. It's that success is a crappy teacher. You don't learn from success. You learn from failure. You learn from what didn't work. Because when it didn't work, that's when it gets your attention. And that's when you stop. And that's when you dig deep. You dig your heels in and you look. And you discover, well, maybe it's a lesson, an opportunity, a new possibility, a new idea. And that's how we grow. And I think that's what we came here to do. To grow. School, this life is like a giant school, learn lessons and help people along the way.
And it is exciting. And one of the things to follow up with that is choosing what we do with our time, conserving our energy. If you guys have not listened to James's podcast episode about his habits, his weird habits. Okay, James, I do so much of that already, and I've been beating myself up about it and being criticized for it for so long. One of them is I don't answer my phone. I hate it. I had over 300 voice messages on my phone, And I always beat myself up about it. What is it about that? Why can't I just answer the phone? What is the big deal? And when I heard you say it, I was like, I've been conserving my energy and beating myself up for trying to live my life.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's personal preference. Like,
Right.
to me, it's about like finding out what works and what makes you happy and what doesn't. And I'm like the type of person that when I'm working, I like focused, uninterrupted time. So answering a phone in the middle of that is not very conducive to that. So I don't answer phone. I have as little disruptions and interruptions in my life as possible. Mm-hmm. And that allows me to focus on the work that I'm doing. And, that works for me. And yes, there are controversial habits that I have. Like, how could you possibly do that? And it's like, because I'm doing what I love, and I try to get as much away that would prevent me from doing what I love off of my plate. And that's just how I've designed my life. It makes me happy.
Exactly. You created that. You have, and again, that's is why I love following you and learning from you. And I'm going to put this comment up here, and I want to answer first. In my experience, Sarah, so where do you suggest you start with changing mindset? And Sarah, I will tell you that you just keep learning. I mean, I've been listening to the Mind Your Business podcast for 2 years. I listen to it religiously. I listen to anything I can get my hands on that you're talking about. I've finally found a teacher that is talking about the things that I was struggling with for so long, and I'm actually making breakthroughs. It's a daily, a minute by minute. What am I going to do in this minute with my time? Am I going to scroll through Instagram because I don't feel like, no, it's making these choices with your time, and then it snowballs eventually into habits, right? I mean, that's how we rewire our brains.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of thoughts on this to answer Sarah's question. The first is that we identify something that we want in our life. We're creatures of desire. Desire drives us. What do I want? What do you want? To tell yourself the story, I don't know what I want, is the first lie that you have to stop telling yourself. That's never true. Anytime you say I don't know what I want, you're lying to yourself. It's not true, because even when you tell yourself that story, you already know what you don't want. And if you know what you don't want, what you want is just the opposite. So you always know what you want, because you always know what you don't want. So once you know what you want, once you kind of just declare this thing that you want, you look to your life. And you either have it or you don't. And what you have or don't have in your life is, by and large, the byproduct of your thinking, your perspective. You can call it your mindset, your belief system. And so kind of assessing what's in your life and what isn't in your life is really a great place to start, right? So for example, a lot of people have a really disempowering relationship around money. How do you know that? Look at your bank account, right? What does it feel like when you spend money? Does spending money cause you a lot of it used to for me, a lot of anxiety? That's just the indicator that you have a disempowering mindset around money. So I'm always get clear on what you want, assess your current circumstances. But there was a great quote by Stephen Covey, and he said, begin with the end in mind. And I want you to consider that, well, based on quantum physics, all probabilities of potential realities already exist, which would mean whatever it is that you want, there is a version of you out there that already has what it is that you want. This version of you has, what we could say a different mindset. They think differently. They have a different set of beliefs. And as a result, they take a different set of actions. They make a different set of decisions. They behave differently. And that's why they have this result. And the more and more that you can become today like that version of you, the more you increase your odds of making that version your reality. And that's basically what I've done for 12 years in business. And it's basically what I teach people, is that the person you are now, who has the results you have, is not going to be able to get what you want, the results that you want. That's why I say what got you here won't get you there. That in order to grow, to get to that next level, to create those results that you want, whether it's more sales, more customers, etc., is going to require a different version of you. And that different version of you thinks differently, acts differently, behaves, makes decisions differently. And that's why they have different results. So until we're willing to make those, to be that version of ourselves today, for most people, things never change. Now, again, that's a simple concept. That's simple. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's easy because you're going with however long you've been alive, 30, 40 plus years of being one person, being this way. And to get a different result, you're going to have to completely be a completely different person. Simple, not always easy. Not always easy.
James, can I ask you, so you're very open about your struggle in the beginning, in the first 4 years. You talk about how you were addicted to your sister's Adderall, and you were working 16-hour days. But you've never talked about how you got off of the Adderall. What was that shift that told you these things, that you can't be working from this place?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Adderall, like, that's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
Adderall is a pretty powerful drug.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't remember how the day I finally decided to stop doing it. I don't remember that. But I knew, like, I'd lost a ton of weight, and was just, working all day, and I had nothing to show for it. And so it was at a certain point where I was like, well, I'm working 14 hours a day and have nothing to show for it. So it's not like working 15 hours a day is going to make a difference. And so I really had to stop and begin approaching life differently. And that's where, like, I'm living proof that this whole just work harder, hustle mentality is a broken strategy. Because if you're working on the wrong things, you're not going to get the right results. It's just period. So, I had to, I changed, and, I developed a much more spiritual context in my life. But I had to do a lot of internal work. I had to look a lot at my own belief systems, and none of that happened overnight. I mean, none of that was instant. It's still every day. It's looking, it's a constant evolution. But I think realizing that, we're not stuck as who we are. Yeah. Was really freeing for me, that I am whoever I say I am. And so back then, before I lost the weight, I was severely overweight, super insecure. Like I was like 230 pounds, covered in acne, super insecure, like no friends, no self-confidence. That guy wasn't going to build the business that I built. Right. But I'm still me. Right. I'm just me without those beliefs and all that self-judgment and criticism and self-loathing that prevents you from putting yourself out there, that prevents you from showing up and helping people and sharing and helping and teaching. And little by little, I just had to let that go. And And it helps it. And to me, it starts by realizing that putting yourself out there isn't about you looking good. This isn't about you trying to impress others. This isn't about you being awesome. No, it's simply about you helping somebody else. And when you're actually committed to helping somebody else, you don't need to worry about what other people think of you. And if you do, what you're saying is your reputation and other people's opinions of you is more important than helping somebody. And I think that's nonsense. That's just selfish. It's completely selfish. And so for me, that's where my orientation, my outlook orientated itself towards was, who can I help? How can I help them? And little by little, that new orientation called forth a different set of actions, a different set of behaviors and decisions. When I made it about who can I help and how can I help them, it became less about what will they think and what if they judge me. And that's why the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask. When you ask outcome-oriented questions, you begin moving towards the outcomes that you want. When you ask crappy, problem-oriented questions like, why is this happening to me? Why am I not good enough? You're going to get crappy answers. And when you get those crappy answers, you're not going to like the results that come after that.
How much time did you allot for this? Just want to make sure I'm.
I have another appointment at the top of the hour, so okay. I think I got to wrap up. I can be like a minute or two.
Okay, so because I can. Those of you that have questions, we're gonna hop back. We're gonna actually, when James leaves, I'll stay on and we'll still talk. Okay, but yeah, one of the things I learned from you that I want to thank you for that are making the biggest shifts is taking 100% responsibility. Mm-hmm. That's been huge for me. And you have also said that we need to keep get our environment in check, that our workspace, our energy space, to be able to be our best. And, just to make sure that, we're taking 100% responsibility for our lives, that we are capable of so much more than we are currently doing. And there are so many people that need our help. And it is selfish when we are caring more about us than we are about them. And James, you are the best. This is why I am so proud and excited to get you in front of the people that don't know you, because you are a true representation of what helping looks like. You can see it in your energy, in the way that you engage. And I thank you because it's a great teaching tool to watch that and something to live up to. And just to end this so that everybody knows, how much did you make in your business last year?
We did over 8 million last year.
8 million, you guys.
Yeah.
And what he's doing. So he's the real deal. If you want to get to know, what to do with online business, James is the person to learn from. James, I'm going to let you go, get to your next meeting. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you here. So grateful.
Thank you, Alison. I hope I was able to provide something for your people here. And thank you. Thanks for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
Always my pleasure. So do you just leave?
Yeah, I'll just exit out the window. I think that's it.
Okay, I'll see you later. Thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye.
Okay, so Sarah, I wanted to go ahead and answer your questions, because here's the thing that I understand, because I've been following James for so long and learning from him and experiencing all these things. Sarah, I'm actually have gone through and go through what your question is. So you said that, what are your thoughts on handling clients, friends, family who might not be on board as you try to make the shifts? When people say they like the way you are and may sort of or could hold you back in your attempt to grow and change. Let me put this up here. But of course, you have loving relationships. Yes. Okay, so James actually did a podcast episode on this as well. But you'll find out quickly. Now, if it's your family, you know, that's a different story. But if it's friends, you'll find out very quickly if you're going to be friends with those people still or not. I have friends for 25 years who I don't even talk to anymore because we just don't have those things in common anymore. With family, if they truly love you and are supporting you the best way they know how, and are resistant to it, you just love them the best way you can. The biggest thing I've learned from James is never to take anything personally. So if your family is resistant, and I went through this for a really long time with my family, where they basically, it was like, you better figure out this internet stuff or you're gonna have to go get a county job. Lots of that type of thing in my growth. And I would get resentful, right? That doesn't do any good to get resentful. It actually just made things worse. So instead, you build a community like we have here. The Community in Business by Design, the course that I'm promoting and that James teaches, that community is so supportive and uplifting. They don't put up with any like negative, bringing people down type of thing. And that's what you need. You have to, it's basically finding a new support group, because your family's your family. And here's the thing, what James said too, is he's not different. There's nothing different about him as far as his like fun personality and who he is. He's just a better version. He says, I think he calls it like James 2.0. We just become better versions of ourselves. So it's not going to take away from your personality, and it should actually only make your relationships better if they don't get jealous and resentful of your success and growth. So does that make sense, Sarah? Is that helpful? There are a few other questions that we had in the group that I want to go ahead and go through. Let's see. So Christmas said, things like not, okay, so when I asked what, good, okay, good, Sarah, I'm glad. Let me know if you have any other questions about anything, Sarah. So for Christmas said with her thoughts with online businesses that she doesn't know how to do X, Y, Z, make good videos. Funnel really is making a landing page, all those things. That's all the how, right? Okay, that's okay, Sarah. You can come back and watch the replay. I'm only going to be on here a little bit longer. If anybody else has any questions, I know a lot of people are going to be catching the replay. So thank you for being here. This opportunity to be with him is, just for some perspective, his price to spend time with him for one day is $15,000. So to spend that hour with him is really a gift because he values his time, and which is why I respect him so much. So yeah, no problem. So let me know if anybody else has any other questions. I'm gonna keep going through some of these questions that we had from inside the Start Your Pilates Online Business Group. Let's see. Sunny Almond says, what would I teach? There's lots of choices and not sure how to get to them, my avatar. So so what should you teach and how to get to them? So what you teach is what you love. You want to love what you do. So you find something and if you love to share it and you get excited, this is how you know, is you get excited about talking about it, to people about it. You get excited. You get that fire whenever you start talking about it. It's a very natural thing, a very intuitive thing. And how to reach your avatar is, well, Sunny Almond has done an amazing job already doing this. It's kind of funny that she's even asking this question because she already does it very naturally. Sunny Almond has the Going More Joe Pilates, classical Pilates group. I think there's like over 3,000 Pilates teachers in it. She's actually a great example of someone who has done a really good job attracting an audience, and Sunny has done it very naturally. Now it's a matter of, in this type of a situation, what James talked about is respecting your audience enough to charge them, start charging them for services, because they will take it more seriously. So that's what I have to say about that. All right. Let's see what other questions came up here. Okay, so Lois or Luis, Christmas, hi. Yes, Sunny Nuts and Bolts Online has such a platform already. Christmas, I just answered your questions from that you put in the group. Did you hear what I had talked about? But I answered all of where we talked about all of them. What you put about being an expert, having a team, and knowing what to do. And then Louise Tobe, I'm sorry, Louise Tobe. Her initial thought is it's a lot of work, and then also how will I keep the momentum up long enough to see results? That is a fantastic question. How will I keep the momentum up to see results? By caring. If you care about what you're doing, you are passionate about what you're doing, you will keep doing this. Just watch James, and that will show you what passion is. The fact that he can still get in here 11 years later and talk about the same thing he talks about all the time. All the time. It's all the same concepts, right? But he repeats himself over and over and over and over because he loves it. He loves helping people. Here's the thing with online business. If you don't love helping people or love teaching, like have a genuine sense of wanting to actually help people, you probably won't last very long online. Oh, Christmas, we never put them on the, I didn't put them on the screen. I just was saying from the group whenever you wrote down your questions. So do you want me to go through them again? I'm happy to. And so you can respond. But as far as keeping the momentum going, you have to do something that you love to do. And that's the beauty of this. I know I said before inside of our pop-up group that maybe Pilates isn't even something that you want to do. Maybe you want to teach something else online. Maybe you're happy doing in-person Pilates and you have another expertise that you are, let's see, listening to podcasts helps so much. Yeah. Yes, listening to the podcast just all the time, all the time. We have to think about what is going into our hearts, into our minds every single day. The music we listen to, the kind of stuff that we watch. If I'm in the car and I'm not listening to music or something, okay, good. If I'm in the car listening to music, or if I'm in the car and not listening to music, I have Sirius Radio. I keep it on Joel Osteen. He's a preacher, and he happens to have his own channel, and I just leave it on there because everything he talks about is so inspiring. And so I just constantly feed myself with the good, with the positive, because it's really easy for me to go negative, to start getting in my head, to start wallowing in my the negative behaviors and bad habits and all of that. So yeah, you know, it's just about you keep going and you show up and you continue to be the best version of who you are, so that you can make your print in this world for the purpose of humankind. And guess what? The money is a byproduct, and we're going to help you with the money thing. One of the things that is like not a great way to make money that I've actually heard other teachers doing is like a donation button on their website. Like, that's not the way to do it. Like, you want people invested, and unless you are running a charity, that's just like a totally different conversation. If you are running a business, your business needs money. You want to be able to make money so that you can have better tools for your students. So Christmas, the BBD course is for you without knowing lingo. Is the BBD course for you without? Oh, definitely. I mean, so James has these tiers in his business, and that's why he made over $8 million last year. It just blows my mind how far he's come. Okay, so he starts with Business by Design. That is his basic online course that teaches you how to run a business. So it also teaches you like how to find whatever passion you're going after, but that will teach you everything about how to actually run the business. That's what it's for, is if you want to call it a beginner. He hates that word too, because you know, he thinks everybody is, you know, he hates labels. He hates labels. But as a beginner, that's where you start, is Business by Design. Then he has something called Next Level. It's a coaching program for, I don't think you have to be at any certain level, but it's just one step higher than BBD. And they actually do like 4 retreats a year where they go and they mastermind with him. And then he has his next level, Mastermind, for 7-figure earners. And that's how he makes his money. Plus he does launches, affiliate launches like I'm doing here. It's amazing because he just keeps going, and it's a really easy to judge him and say, oh, he just is trying to make a bunch of money. But when you actually see him and you hear him and you see his energy, you know that he wants to help you, that he is helping you. And that's all there is to it. Helping. Last conversation we had, he said to run or to even start business, you want to be in harmony with yourself. You then want to attract an audience, and then you sell them what they want. Harmony within yourself. Actually, the very first module in BBD is called You by Design. He goes through all the mindset stuff that we go through, that I'm still going through. That's why I can help you so much through all of this, because I'm still going through it and growing. Harmony within yourself, because online business, he says this in his book. Christmas, have you read this? Have you downloaded this and read it? He says that putting yourself out there to the world, proclaiming your authority status and selling your stuff can be extremely exposing and vulnerable. And most struggling entrepreneurs, and this may be you, would rather struggle and hustle to stay busy than actually put themselves out there. Online business is super exposing. I mean, this is one of the tools, is to do video. It's not totally easy. Yeah, definitely. Do you need the link? I'll put it in the comments, or I'll put it in the group again. That's what I'll do, okay, if you don't have the download yet. It's extremely exposing. But what keeps me coming back and doing this is knowing the people I can help. That's where you have to come from. When you don't feel like doing that video, or your hair isn't quite right, or all of these things. And I still struggle with it. I really struggle with it. Like, it's not easy for me to get on a video and just do a video. It is very exposing. But it becomes a habit. It becomes like, okay, I've done this, so let me do it again and again and again and again. And you just learn by getting stronger and better, and making mistakes, being willing to make the mistakes. Action creates clarity. And there are people in this world right now who need your specific message, that they are not going to resonate with anyone else but you. And if you can really let that sink in, then you will fall in love with this. And it will be so much easier for you to put yourself out there and attract the people who need you. And James teaches all that in his course, and of course I will help you through all of that. So I think that's all for now. This has been an hour and 15 minutes. I will go through and do a timestamp so that you can find what you need to easily. My oh, Christmas. Okay, yeah, you said yes, this makes a lot of sense. To me, I'm a helper, almost to my detriment sometimes. I want to help so much. That is you are ready to do this then. Because now all we have to work on is getting past the helping for free. That your time and expertise, and you do have a very strong expertise, your time and expertise is worth so much more than you are making it worth right now. And that's the hardest thing I know for us, is to make us start helping ourselves believe that we are worthy of charging for our expertise, of trading, saying, I have this thing and I want you to pay me this X amount of dollars. We've got to get past that fear of doing that, because what he said in the beginning, we are not going to help people by just continuing to give things away. Or trading. Trading's, I've found, not a great thing either. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks, Christmas, for hanging on too. Feel free to message me if you have any questions, or pop them in the group, even better. That way everybody can learn. But if it's something private, you can always message me, you know that, okay? Okay, thank you. And I will see you guys next week for a workshop. I'll get the workshops up by this weekend, and they'll all be through this platform so that it's easier to schedule. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon.